Diddy brings locks contracts to the.
Give you a chance, and we're gonna give you a chance to state that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I noticed you have a bunch of paperwork with you, so I'm curious.
Yeah, because he said the paperwork game was tight. So I heard. I really went and pulled quotes. Cause I'm a good listener. So
all right,
the paperwork game is tight, and sometimes the paperwork, the paperwork are just the facts.
Before I have to handle just something. So I know you just walked in. I'm gonna let you take a minute, get some water or something.
Yeah, some water. Let me wet my palate.
And then we're gonna handle this, and we're gonna come
relax, Diddy. You always on some sus shit.
Back, and we're gonna talk to Puff, and we're gonna get to the phones.
No, it's gonna be clear, and it's also we're gonna give a tutorial. We're gonna give a
Diddy gonna
consultation.
School us. Diddy gonna school us on how to take everything an artist works for. You gonna tell us what's up?
To the city?
No, to the locks. We're gonna give a consultation.
Oh, it's for the locks.
To the warlocks.
Oh, okay. The warlocks.
You know what I'm saying? I named them the locks. So now, since it's all that, they gotta go back to the warlocks.
All right, we're gonna. Wow. All right, I don't know where this is gonna go today.
No, it's gonna go very, very peaceful.
Yeah, no, I would hope so. I would hope so.
It's gonna be. They should listen, so they can learn, because it's very clear that they don't understand the business that they in for 10 years. But we gonna make it simple and plain, so why don't we pay some bills so we ain't gotta stop talking.
All right, good, so that we could just go. Let me just handle this right quick.
Talk about what the number is. Let's talk
on Hot 97.
You wanna talk about what the number is? Let's talk about the number, since the locks was out here. They was here yesterday and they said they didn't get no money.
They didn't say they didn't get no money.
The locks.
They said they felt that at this point in their career that it doesn't make sense. They feel like you get more money.
So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you what I got. I'm gonna tell you what I got. Let's ask you. Let's remove me and the locks. Me and you in a business deal. I meet you when you coming up. You want me to invest in you. You know what I'm saying? You a new company.
I own you forever. No matter what you do when you leave me. If we break up amicably or unamicably, I own you forever. It's just the sound of greed is just what it is. It's like that.
I invested in D Block. You know what I'm saying? I'm investing in you. You a new company. At the end of the day, here come the splits. Out of the money, you get over $1.5 million. And I get 400 or under $400,000. That's it, New York. They got over $1.5 million. And I got
this was back then?
No, this is everything to date. They got 1.5 million.
Their whole career?
They got for the albums they put out. These remember, they the streets. They not making no #1 top 10 pop records.
They are. They making them for you, where the publishing come into play. See, he's trying to do magic tricks on the people. They do write #1 hits for the club. Not for themselves, but for you they do. And that's where the publishing comes in. You talking record sales. You talking 1.5 million. You talking 2 million in record sales. That's not what they was talking about. So he's already smoking mirrors over here.
They the streets. So they sitting here crying like I got more money. That's the money that I got. I'm divulging. I didn't even speak my information on the street.
Now, you supported their career, but they supported yours. Because you could have wrote your own fucking songs, but you didn't. They wrote your fucking songs. So they supported you too. It's like doing shit that ain't part of the deal. And you hear people complain about it. I think the game complained about it with G-Unit. Oh, they had the clothing line and we wasn't getting no money. And well, those are conversations that need to be had. The problem is we don't have the conversations, and then we get fired up. Now we want to fire on each other because we didn't have the conversation. Always worry about a dude that don't want to talk about the money.
I will never ever do this again.
Honestly, just because I let you get some of that specifics in. We didn't really get into too much of the specifics yesterday. I guess just the point that they came up here was, they might be misinformed. I don't know, yes or no, about how much exactly it is. But either way, they They have been, they
just
say,
don't know.
trying to get out of this publishing deal for 10 years.
Check this. Okay. If you check this out, if you yourself, you invest in AT&T,
Right.
okay?
No, I get it. I get it.
No. You invest in AT&T. AT&T, they didn't even start making phones. Then AT&T, whatever years later, say that they want your shares back. But there's no reason. They just say that they just want their shares back. Or even better, you buy a house. You go and you buy a house in Harlem. You go buy the house and...
I mean, I get it. You're investing, you want to...
Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't... So they've been calling, knock on the door saying they want their house back. They had sold their house. They didn't even sell a house. To be honest, they came up here and they're portraying in New York that they sold a house. I don't own their house. Puff does not own 50%. Puff owns 20%. I don't never divulge my information or my business, but it's just the fact that this is just so crazy.
20% of what? 20% of their publishing? There's a producer half, there's a writer half. You own 20% of their half?
Crazy, and I'm just it's not even worth it. This is not even worth it to me.
Right.
So out of the house that I bought, I don't even own the house. I just invested in the ground floor. So now you say just give me the ground floor back just because. I could see if it was what they were saying. They came up here and cried to New York. They cried broke. They used the word slavery. Over $1.5 million in slavery, and I get 400. That's slavery. There's people that are really feeling like they working in the streets. Streets keep it real. There's people that are struggling, and they up here crying. Stop whining, man.
Let me just ask you this, and I have to play a song, and I'm gonna give you a chance with the paperwork and all that. We'll get into all of that.
Puff talking like he ain't just get threatened with a refrigerator falling on his head.
Just one question I have is that. One of the issues yesterday was that they felt like Jadakiss said this specifically, that they got into the game, they was young, now they blame their lawyers, they blame themselves, but it's been 10 years and they just feel like they were taken advantage of when they were younger and
I'm gonna go back
taken
to that.
advantage of by you.
So I took advantage of them by me. So while they had 300 members of the Rough Riders, they went through 7 lawyers. They all had 2 parents, and I took advantage of them. Come on, man. They can say that all they want. It's just not the truth, and it's here in black and white. So I took advantage of you. How did I take advantage of them if they got over 1.5 and I got 4? Is that taking advantage of me and you?
That sounds like something other than publishing. I don't know what he's talking about, but again, it's smoke and mirrors. Definitely smoke and mirrors.
Business deal,
right?
And I invest in you, and you make 1.5, and I make 4. Am I taking advantage of you? Am I?
No.
Okay, that's the facts. Let's talk about the facts, ladies and gentlemen. That's the facts. That's what it is, black and white. Here to cancel checks. I sent it to their accountant because they not on top of their business.
I want to.
They're speaking emotionally, and they not on top. You ever know somebody and they just speak off the cuff? And they haven't really gotten to the details to do their homework.
Why can't you guys why can't you sit down and work this out?
Angie.
Can't?
Because this guy's a magician and them other guys just want to slap him when they talk. Because they feel like he's jerking them around. So it's hard to have that conversation. And you feel like the lawyers are all in cahoots. It's hard to have that conversation. But they got to have that conversation. But you already see, he's already smoking mirrors. He's throwing numbers around. They got 1.5. That's for the record they put out. That's what he said. It's for the record they put out. What about the records they wrote for you? They were talking about No Way Out. They were in there talking about that record specifically. They were talking about your album. Where's that? You're not talking about that. So he's been playing these public relations, magician games for a long time.
Angie, you or whoever else not listening to me. I invited them to the office. You got to ask them. I invite them even still, because I know they ain't not busting a grape. They can still come to my office. I will act like this didn't even happen. I'll erase yesterday. Because my mind is strong like that.
So you're willing to sit down at this point?
And Angie, I told you the story that I saw the man. I told him to sit down.
I give Puff that too. He'll come and he'll deal with you. He's like Vince McMahon and Dana White. You could shit on those guys a lot and they'll take you back. But they're gonna take their piece.
down. I see him at the concert. They ain't say nothing to me. How you gonna be on stage with somebody rocking the Benjamins in front of all of New York? You didn't say none of that. You got him right there. Then what did I do? I disappeared like abracadabra? Nah, I've been here. I'm gonna be at the office every day. So I'm gonna tell you again. So you clear. You bring him to the office then.
Me?
Anybody can. If somebody see him, if somebody see him in the streets, bring him to the office.
I'll bring him. We set up the meeting.
They called out to New York to help them to give them a ride to the office.
Can we play? Let me just play one song, so we can regroup and get.
Can we play a Biggie song?
You wanna?
Yeah.
Which Biggie song?
You ain't giving a new joint? Yeah. Play the single. Play the nasty.
We will too have to talk about the C's call and all of that stuff.
You can get into all that, but it's very important that all up and coming artists read and understand your contracts and your paperwork. The locks.
Come on, man, just give me.
The locks ain't getting jerked. They got their money.
There it is.
And it ain't 50-50. It's 80-20. And I'm glad I was able to inform y'all of that. Y'all need to scream on your accountants and lawyers and yourselves for not reading, because it's right here. I'm gonna highlight and show Angie your contract. If you read your contract, it says 80%.
Is it there? All right, we're gonna look at the contract.
80% of what, bro? 80% of what? Record sales? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about publishing. This dude's magic. Puff is magic.
He joins while we do that.
New hip hop, new R&B. Hot 97.
Run a new joint now.
Keep it hot.
Run. When you hear new music, you know it's Hot 97, baby.
100% of their publishing back.
If it was
paperwork, they'll send paperwork.
Yeah.
Can you sit down and can you? What would it take for them?
80-20.
What would it take for them to get 100% of their publishing back?
If it wasn't true, their lawyer could go and they could play this in a court of law. Why would I set myself up for that? That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is
because you haven't said the word publishing. You said specifically for the record that they did. Forget the record they did, bro. Whatever they wrote for you, that's included in their publishing. Forget about the record they did. We're not talking about the record they did.
because I definitely need to apologize to New York for feeling a little emotional, but you got to understand, working as hard as I've worked to get to this point, and somebody saying that you stole from them, you know what I'm saying? My thing is to always to inspire, you know what I'm saying? And to motivate and to provide opportunities and to be. So when I came up here being emotional, it was just me expressing to y'all the true feelings. I got to give it to you true, because I never been at this point where such a blatant misrepresent, since the last time I was on trial for the gun, a blatant misrepresentation of the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it was so upsetting, because it was like I own 50.
Blatant misrepresentation of the truth is him saying that it's an 80-20 split. She keeps saying publishing. He's not even using the word publishing. He's just using magic words and talking around the subject.
80% of somebody's stuff, and it's a lifetime deal. That's not true. They have 5. We have them for 5 more options. So you gotta look.
They said that yesterday, but they said that they have to be on. Let me just say what it is, so you can defend it. You can instead of just putting it out there. They said they have. The deal is that the albums that they have left that they owe you for publishing is on Bad Boy. So since they're not on Bad Boy, that they can't. It's not true.
This is what you're saying. This is really in New York. We shouldn't. To be honest, this is so embarrassing for them and for me to be saying it like this, because they just don't know the business. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. You know how we can stop it though? As grown people, let's talk about the facts. This facts I'm gonna state. You got to check.
Nah, publishing is publishing. It doesn't matter what label you on. If you own their publishing, you're gonna get their publishing. They're not talking about record sales. He got her confused. He's talking record sales and shit like that. Nah, they're talking about everything they wrote.
Checks in front of you. You reading
But I also have a contract that they just sent me that says 50-50.
Yeah, but I'll show you this contract. But you know we're going back and forth.
I know.
At the end of the day, this business is between me and the Locks.
Diddy is a public relations magician. I'm telling you, man. The guy get away with murder, for real. So the Lock said that they wanted to drop a refrigerator on his head. He come on here and say, hey, it's an 80-20 split. They made 1.5. I made 400 grand. She said from what? He said the record they did. Money, Power, Respect is the record they did. But they wrote on All About the Benjamins. That's a big check, publishing wise. And he's just doing magic words, and we're not talking about it. Now, We're gonna go back because we gotta listen to Lil C's discuss why he still got Biggie's publishing. Then until Valletta Wallace gets on with Diddy and Angie and tells Lil C's mind your business about Big's publishing.
I'm only stating the facts. I would not come up here and misrepresent myself. That's number one.
Okay, let me ask.
But anybody that knows how publishing works knows that I can't own 50% of their publishing because 50% goes straight
So the publishing that you do have, it obviously means a lot to them. Would you be willing to sell them back or give them back their publishing?
She should have let him talk because he was about to talk about how 50% goes to the producer and 50% goes to the writer. But what they're talking about is, yeah, man, give me my 50% back. Give me my publishing. Their 50% is 100% of their publishing. Had they produced and wrote the song, they'd have the real 100%. But their 50%, their writing 50%, that's their money. That's their publishing. They sold it to you. Do they want it? Now, if you're telling me that you have a 80-20 split on their publishing, that's one thing. But that's not what I'm hearing Puff say in this interview. He's saying he got a 80-20 split on their record.
Is there any way that could happen?
I'm going to say, number one, they never had a discussion and never gave me an offer to buy it back. That's number one. Number two is they say that they're the streets.
And that's where it's at. That's what it is. See, they wanted him to just hand it back over. They didn't know they were selling it to begin with. You can't sell your publishing, not when you're that hot. You got to hold out. I wonder if Fifth sold his publishing. I doubt it. If he made a deal, I'm sure he made a good deal. With these dudes, the deal that these dudes made, they were kids. Same thing with Nori. He made a bogus deal, and he ended up with Combat Jack. That was dude's name. He says Combat Jack and Tragedy jerked him, took his publishing. But he sold it for a price. But if you don't know what it is, how could you put a number on it? And that's what these young dudes do just to get out the hood.
Go and you get some consignment for 5 of them things from Poppy, and then you go to Poppy and say, nah, I just don't want to give it back. You know what I'm saying? That don't make sense. If he invested in you and invested in your dream to come up, and he gave you 5 of them things, and you owe him 5, that's what you're supposed to give him. But even more important,
you give him the 5, but you don't give him a 5 every day again for the rest of your life. You give him what you owe. They didn't know what they were selling. That's the part that you're not talking about. When they go to Poppy, they know what they're going to get from Poppy. Don't confuse it.
They never even had a conversation with me. They never had a conversation.
It's so hard to do this interview because it's so the stories are so conflicting.
But there's one story. If I'm bringing canceled checks, I can't do no more than that. They came up here and they made y'all believe that they don't want to rap no more because. But this is a fake. You're not even acknowledging this is what they do. Free the Locks 1. Free the Locks Part 2 with Interscope. Hey, that worked. Jimmy got on the phone. Let's go after Puff. Let's see if this worked. It definitely worked because they hit a nerve, and it's not really like me, but it's just like this station right here is a very strong station, and it's a very strong accusation of stealing from somebody. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have I got mine off for hard work. I don't have to steal from nobody.
You said you were going to let me do some questions.
Yes.
Let me do some questions. Do some questions. Are you willing to give them back or sell them back their publishing?
If the right situation is presented,
what would it take?
Yes.
I mean, we've taken it this far. There's checks laying out here. We've taken it this far. What would it take,
Angie,
for them to have their publishing back?
You got to understand, in the record business, it's not that simple. You got to sit down with the accountants and with the lawyers and deal with the facts.
But you're willing to...
It's not that. I've said for 20 times I'm at the office. So we keep asking the same question. I'm going to be at the office, so you bring them up so you can see.
Me?
Whoever.
I'm going to bring them. Can we set up a business meeting?
Bring them. Bring them.
For real. Can we set up a business meeting?
They could have had a business meeting, Angie. It didn't take all of this.
For whatever reason, they feel like they can't. They couldn't have.
Okay. So
tell me about this quote. I'm giving you a chance to respond to the accusations yesterday, but you're not letting me put them out there for you to respond to. Let me just put them out there and you respond.
Okay, did we get the last one clear? That they can have a meeting in New York.
We can have a meeting. See? Check. That's done. Check. One thing done.
Bring their lawyers too.
Check. Accomplished. Okay.
Bring their
Second
lawyers.
thing.
Some goons.
They did say that they have tried to reach out to you. They actually even quoted you as saying, the Beatles can't talk to Michael Jackson about their publishing.
Damn.
Angie, as I told you before, I brought it up to them. This whole thing stemmed from the beef that they have now that they're not dealing with their own beef. And at the end of one of the mixtape records, they got a bomb thrown at them. And so I brought it up to Jada, like, yo, I know that must be on your mind. If you ever want to talk to me, he never brought it up to me. That's like your man sitting next to you, he don't talk about something.
I'm trying to understand. Maybe he's talking about when he was going at it with 50. Maybe 50 said something about how they were getting jerked by Puff. And that's another one we'll go through one day. The argument between Fifth and Cam and Styles on radio. But maybe Puff's talking about, Diddy mentioned something about them getting jerked for their publishing. And now Puff is equating that with why they're talking about it.
They need to have the heart to talk about it. Don't nobody help them. Drop them off at the office. Let them come talk to me themselves. They never did that.
We're going to set up a business meeting. We're going to set up a business meeting and start with
anytime.
that. Okay, so then C's calls up yesterday. I guess the publishing discussion sparked a nerve in Lil C's, who called up and said that you own some of Biggie's publishing still.
Here we go.
And he obviously felt the way about that. Felt you should come up off of it, is what he said, and give it to...
You know what I'm going to do for that? I'm going to let Miss Wallace... She's calling in. I'm gonna let her handle that. I'm gonna let her, she called and asked to answer that. She said that's her son's business. She wants to answer that. The Locks may want to put their business out in the street. She said if her son's business is gonna be put out in the street, she wants to answer that.
So she wants to speak on it.
Yeah, she wants to speak on it.
But Letta Wallace a goon for real.
Yeah, you're gonna get her on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get Miss Wallace on the telephone. Who's gonna somebody do it from out there? All right, let's play. Want to play a Biggie joint and then get a second to get Miss Wallace on the phone and.
Yeah, definitely. We need to play the Biggie new single off the Duets album featuring Nelly, Jagged Edge, myself, Notorious B.I.G. The new single, Jazzy Fizzle, album in stores December 20th. Really, come on, y'all. Everybody in the music industry knows that they are not going to run up or be on no off. Universal ain't even gonna take the call. They're gonna be, y'all want to get off? You got a contract.
Okay, but as it stands, I'm just trying to 80%. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to just clarify because I just got another facts.
80% goes to them.
Is that right?
80% goes to them.
Okay. All right, as it stands, there's gonna be a business meeting.
Conflicting paperwork, boy. The devil.
With some lawyers involved.
It could have been one yesterday. Ain't nobody showed up. I got a video.
All right, well, but now
I'm gonna be clear because I'm gonna make sure my stuff is quoted right. Have them send you their number. Let's keep it gangster. Have them send you their number. I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call them myself.
When you leave here,
let's get.
You'll call them tonight.
Let's get. I'm gonna call them right over there by the Coke machine because you know grown men handle business. This is not gangster. This is just so not. This is not even manly. You know what I'm saying? This is a borderline.
See, that could have got your ass kicked. It's not manly. What you talking about, bro? Who are you? You the authority on that?
You know, funny style. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
When you got a situation, you handle it man to man. Angie can't help the situation. New York can't help it. You got to help yourself. You come and see me. And so I could teach you, and then you're going to dance. I think you're really going to thank me. You know what I'm saying? I think you're going to thank me because I invested in and I believed in y'all. We shouldn't have no beef. Y'all believed in me. I believed in y'all. I never said nothing derogatory about them or nobody else. You wanted to leave. I let you go. Any other record label would have left you there. But let's handle it like men. Don't call the radio station up when you could call me. All right? That's it. Call me. Don't make a mixtape. You call me. I don't play those games.
So you're going to call them after this? There will be a meeting.
I want them to call me.
But on the contrary, what they say is ain't no calling him. Got to talk to the lawyers.
Me. But they
did say they were coming back next week. It's up to them. They're not contractually obligated.
If they come back next week, New York.
Just letting it know.
And once they get finished, drive them to the office. I'll be there so we can stop being misled.
That would be great. That would be great if you guys could have a meeting before next week. All right, Puffy, thank you. I know you got really going on. I know you got, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end it on a positive note, just the way things should be end, because everybody's listening, looking at hip hop and looking at us and looking at what we do and how we handle ourselves. I have no problem with the Locks. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely grateful for the time I had with them, the experience, the association, the times we had on stage, the time we even had last week at the Meadowlands in Philly. I thank them for the Benjamins, you know what I'm saying, being a part of that, writing it for me. I'm a fan of theirs. I can only get worked up off of real beef. This ain't beef, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with them. I wish that they would just handle their business and handle like mature men and not put their business out in the street and come deal with me directly. So it's out in the street.
So that's just more of this. This has been happening for 30 years. There's been a discrepancy with the publishing when it comes to Bad Boy. And today in 2023, Puffy gives it back. Is it a PR stunt? I don't know. Maybe I'll put up a poll or something. We'll see if it's a PR stunt. Let me find Biggie's mom telling Lil C's to mind his business.
I'm trying to be very, very still. You, the publishing, you or Biggie's kid. The previous day about Diddy still holding on to their publishing and not being so pleased about this. So yesterday, Miss Wallace. Now, our girl Angie sat down yesterday with Diddy. He came into the studio to respond to the allegations the Locks made the previous day about Diddy still holding on to their publishing and not being so pleased about this. So yesterday, Miss Wallace called in, and baby, I don't even think I'm as entertained by what was supposed to be the meat and potatoes of the interview as I am by Miss Wallace's gangster. Like, she is clearly caught up. She said,
Cool it. Settle down. Be very, very still and quiet.
and she was talking about Lil C's. She told him.
She said, cool it. Settle down. Be very, very still. Hush up your mouth and sit straight in the chair.
Gosh.
Be cool and settle down.
Ooh, we're going to let y'all hear the second half of this interview, but she's talking about how Lil C's needs to mind his business, that she doesn't have a problem with Diddy and the publishing. I guess that she wrote about in the book as having had a problem with Diddy taking Big's publishing earlier on. Now she's saying Lil C's needs to
cool it. Hush. Be very, very still. If you don't want the beef squashed, then it won't be squashed. But you will be very still.
Evidently, I guess he doesn't want it to be squashed.
You don't want people talking about the business.
Huh?
You don't want people talking about the business on the radio.
Well, I don't think it's NFC's business. I think I need to talk about our business. And if Puffy wants to talk about it, that's his business.
Right.
But Faith and I will, whenever it comes to Christopher Wallace estate, Faith and I deals with that, not Lil C. Lil C doesn't know what transpired between Puffy, Faith, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any right. He doesn't know. I can guarantee you, if that's his statement, he doesn't know anything.
Still and very, very quiet. And cool it.
Wow, so you're happy as it stands.
Oh, we're very happy.
That's all we can.
Listen, Puff gets a lot. I mean, Big got a lot of publishing coming to him. Big wrote for Kim, Big wrote for Puff, Big wrote for C's, Big wrote for everybody. He got publishing coming to him. You know what I'm saying? He got publishing coming to him.
I don't know if Puffy's crying.
That's all we can ask to hear.
Crying. Or very sad.
No.
But as far as the estate is concerned, we are very happy.
But can we please?
So there it is. She sided with Diddy on that one. So eventually, the Locks and Diddy worked out a deal. And they got a percentage of their publishing back. They didn't disclose, they didn't disclose numbers. But they did let it be known that they made a deal and they worked things out. A lot of dope stuff. Y'all let me know if you want me to react to more like classic hip-hop stories and give my insight on that. It's a lot of good ones, man. Jadakiss recalled Styles P throwing the chair at Diddy so the Lots could leave Bad Boy Records. Sheik Luch on Jadakiss threatening to drop a fridge over publishing. Now, this was 2 years ago. So here we are today. This was 2021. Here we are today, 2023. And Sheik Luch is getting his publishing, all of it back from P. Diddy.
Right, and the whole time you guys are being managed by D and Y.
Yeah.
Who then
So for
launched
those-
Rough Riders.
Yeah.
And
So for those that don't know, the Locks were managed by DNY, CEOs of the Rough Riders. They got them to deal with Puff through Mary J. Blige. And then they started Rough Riders, X blew up, and then the Locks wanted to get off Bad Boy and go to Rough Riders.
DMX becomes a superstar
Absolutely. Yeah.
on the label.
Yeah.
And now you guys actually want to jump ship and leave Bad Boy and go to Rough Riders.
Uh-huh.
But you guys are on paperwork.
Absolutely. That same paperwork we talked about earlier, that we signed, and you know, and like I said, like one more time with Puff, cause I love that brother, man. It was the same paperwork binding to us, and we just want it off. At the time we thinking automatically, yo, just let us off, Puff, and that's how it works. It don't go like that.
It don't go like that, and I'm surprised it worked for them. If it was gonna work for anybody, it was gonna work for them. You know, Puffy uses public relations the way he uses public relations. The Locks use public relations the way they use public relations. And their public relations is the street, word of mouth.
Don't go like that at all. You got to go through shit. Money was spent. Who's getting reimbursed? Is this new label ready to do it? The new label we wanted to go to wasn't ready to do that yet. The money that Puff wanted, you gotta understand, D&Y was fresh off the streets for real. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm starting their movement. They was managers of us, but they weren't the managers that's in the game already that, you know, you pick up these are our brothers learning the game. So yeah, man, we want it off. And our only way that we knew how to get off was with Puff. The kind of person with Puff was to bring it to the streets with the Let the Locks Go campaign. We did that shit at one of them summer jams.
T-shirts.
T-shirts, yo, you seen it. We had hats, T-shirts. We had the whole crowd. Let the locks go. The chicks and y'all like, hey, Puff. He'll turn, they go, let the locks go, mother. Like, yo, it'd be some crazy shit like that. That shit was getting to somebody that would get to you. You know what I mean? And then finally he was like, yo, whatever y'all want to do, y'all good. Y'all got my blessings, y'all could go. And we had to, what we had to do, like, you know, you get, after a certain amount of albums, and then your publishing comes back. You know, it's a procedure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I remember, I think it was like around 2000.
After a certain amount of albums, the publisher comes back. Well, they owed them, 6 albums on Bad Boy? They didn't do those 6 albums on Bad Boy, so they couldn't get their publishing back. Is that what they were talking about earlier?
2005 or whatever, you guys went on the radio, I think it was Hot 97, talking about how, you know, Puff still owns part of your publishing, and I think like Jadakiss was talking about dropping refrigerators
off
crazy.
Them, all that crazy shit. Yo, and the crazy shit, I tell the story all the time. I'm in there, I got a project out, I got like an album out. I'm thinking my brother's gonna come up to the radio and help me promote my shit. These niggas, it's shit
he was there. He was just silent as they threw refrigerators off the building.
Nothing to do about Chic. I'm sitting there looking like, the fuck, man? I got a new album, this song, these niggas, they talking about dropping refrigerators. Yo, Puff on the line. Yo, dog, no Chic, no single, no nothing. Them niggas just deboed me, dog. Crazy. I looking like, yeah. Then I think Angie finally said, okay, so Chic, the song you got out, man, they don't want to hear that shit no more. I'm out of here, man. And that's how that went. Yeah.
Well, but I remember, I think like the next day, Puff went on the radio and actually gave y'all your publishing back.
Yeah. See, you understand, like, that's how Puff was. Legally, you're not gonna get to him. You're not gonna get to you. You can't touch that man financially, lawyer-wise, none of that. We don't, come on now, you know what I mean? So hurting him that way, it'll take years. That's the definition of being shelved. We went other routes. Like, yo, you know, we and that Puff wasn't with that. He couldn't stand that.
Yeah.
They struck a nerve by forcing him to do public relations. By forcing him to do public relations, they was just out there making him look bad. He had to defend himself. You know?
And we did give motherfuckers the blueprint on how to go about shit. We was the first artist, I think, ever to say, we're not happy with our situation, we want off. I can't be all the way correct on that, but like, you know, I'm pretty sure all the Motown days and all that, but I'm just saying that we was like one of the first to be rebels in this, to say we don't like our paperwork, we want off, we want to go about it this way. Niggas wasn't doing that. Now you see it all over the place.
Yeah. And then you guys joined Rough Riders.
Which was our brothers / management that got a sick ass movement. But you see how they did it. They had X on all these big locks records. You get what I'm saying? And niggas done started something and all this kind of stuff all over the streets. It just got crazy. Yeah, it was smart.
It's a beautiful time. All right, man. Well, I'll pose the question and I'll put a poll up. Was this public relations for Puff? Was Puff giving back everybody's publishing, just public relations to make him look good right now so that he can go get himself a better deal now that he lost his liquor deals? Who knows? We shall see. Either way, I hope that these artists can figure out and find out what they can do with their publishing and make some money. Any money. Puff might be a day late and a dollar short, though. These people already made their lives without what they had coming to them. But you young bucks, don't sell what you got coming to you before it comes to you.